Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, Frank Andrews, Marisa Bird, meteorologist Noreen Clark, and J. Kristopher Sports. This is Newswatch 16 this morning.
Good morning, everyone. 28 and a half minutes before 7 a.m. and this is Newswatch 16 this morning for Friday, the 20th of July. In a moment, we'll have more on the last night of the 1984 Democratic National Convention. But first, here's our meteorologist Noreen Clark with a peek on today's forecast. Good morning, Noreen.
Hi, Frank. Top of the morning, everyone. We head into a warm-up over the weekend, and it's looking pretty good. In the backyard this morning, under clear sunny skies, it's a cool 58 degrees, and we have an outstanding day on hand with plenty of sunshine, comfortable humidities, and warm afternoon temperatures. I'll have the weekend outlook, including the shore forecast, in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Noreen. The Democratic National Convention is over. Walter Mondale is the presidential nominee, Geraldine Ferraro the vice presidential choice. Both made stirring speeches last night to accept their party's nomination, speeches that swept the delegates off their feet. And as ABC's Chris Bury reports this morning, Mondale also had some tough things to say about President Reagan.
My fellow Democrats, my fellow Americans, I accept your nomination.
Walter Mondale came out swinging in what he called the most important speech of his life. Mondale scored on the convention floor when he attacked President Reagan on issues of war and peace.
We have the capacity to destroy the planet. Every president since the bomb has gone off has understood that and talked with the Soviets and negotiated arms control. Why has this administration failed? Why haven't they tried? Why can't they understand the cry of Americans and human beings for sense and sanity in control of these god-awful weapons? Why? Why?
Outlining his fall campaign, Mondale stressed themes of family, work, and justice, and he promised to cut deficits the old-fashioned way by raising taxes.
Mr. Reagan will raise taxes, and so will I. He won't tell you. I just did.
Mondale was introduced by Senator Edward Kennedy, party statesman and cheerleader for the new Democratic team.
Let me begin with this. By his choice of Geraldine Ferraro, Walter Mondale has already done more for this country in one short day than Ronald Reagan has done in 4 long years.
The delegates, more than half of them women, were swept off their feet at the historic and unanimous nomination of Geraldine Ferraro for vice president.
My heart is filled with pride. My fellow citizens, I proudly accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States.
At the end of the night, Mondale's former rivals joined him for a primetime picture of party unity, closing the curtain on the Democratic Convention and setting the stage for an uphill campaign against a popular president. Chris Bury, ABC News at the Democratic National Convention in San Francisco.
Of course, throughout the 1984 Democratic Convention, Newswatch 16 has had a team of reporters and photographers in San Francisco keeping tabs on the Pennsylvania delegation. Last night, Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci was with those delegates from this area as Walter Mondale made that acceptance speech.
The convention concluded with rousing marching music by John Philip Sousa, and the mood it set was perfect for delegates who had just seen stirring speeches by Edward Kennedy and Walter Mondale.
I feel fantastic. I just can't give you enough descriptive, wonderful adjectives all at once. It's just great.
You've seen Mr. Mondale, you've seen Mr. Kennedy speak. How is it right now?
I thought they were both fantastic. We are very proud of them. It was exciting to be on the floor tonight.
And so the 1984 Democratic Convention wraps up in San Francisco. Now the main object for Democrats is to do battle with Ronald Reagan in November. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16, reporting via satellite from San Francisco.
And meteorologist Noreen Clark is up next on Newswatch 16 this morning. She's out in the backyard with details of today's forecast and a look at the weekend. Newswatch 16 this morning continues in a moment, 23.5 before 7 a.m.
He stole that gun that's been firing on us, that killed my husband, that will kill all of you.
A stranger is the only one who can save a town from total destruction.
We're about ready to knock that town off the face of the earth.
Bitch! He's gonna kill me!
All right, it's a standoff, Jess.
Elvis Presley stars in Charro. Today's $16,000 movie at 4 on wnep-tv 16.
Good morning, everyone. Just about 22 minutes before 7, time for an outstanding forecast. That's the word you're using this morning, isn't it, Noreen?
That's right, Frank. The weather is shaping up fairly well now that it's time to get into the swing of the weekend. Currently outside, it's comfortably cool at 58 degrees, humidity 74%, but that will drop nicely during the day. The winds are presently calm, but they'll pick up a little bit, and that barometric pressure is on the rise. Today's sunrise has occurred at 5:48 and sunset is at 8:31 p.m. And this morning we are under mainly clear skies, and along with that temperatures went to comfortably cool sleeping levels overnight. There's a little bit of ground fog through the area, but not too much. It will burn off relatively fast this morning. 52 up in Tawana, the cool spot, the Poconos at 47 degrees, Hazleton 52, 57 Sunbury, 58 Pottsville, 59 degrees in Allentown, 54 Williamsport, and 57 in State College. And just getting a glimpse of that satellite picture today, the dry air that's centered basically right near Pennsylvania is going to provide us with a gorgeous day, even better than yesterday. We'll start out with clear, beautiful skies. We may have a few fair weather clouds during the day, but a good deal of sunshine. Afternoon temperatures will become warm, and the humidities will be rather comfortable. There is a very weak cool front out over the upper Midwest, and it's going to try to slip through the area, and it looks like right now it's going to do it during the day on Saturday. So under partly sunny skies, there is the slight chance of an isolated shower or thunder shower, but it shouldn't ruin your entire day. And I can't predict exactly if it's going to hit your backyard, but there could be around the area as it passes through. And behind this, the jet stream is going to push back up into Canada, and temperatures are going to become very warm as a big puddle of hot air sits right over the Mississippi Valley, and that hot air will affect us here in Pennsylvania. Temperatures getting into the upper 80s on Sunday and near 90 on Monday. So let's check the forecast for today because it's looking mighty good, outstanding for today. In fact, it's going to be nice throughout the day with sunshine. Towanda and Childs near 80 degrees. And in the low 80s from Williamsport Plains and down into the Stroudsburg area, and Mount Carmel near 80 degrees. The winds turning into the southwest, and they will be warm at about 12 miles per hour. And because it's such a nice day ahead, all the categories on the Health Watch are indexed high. All outdoor activities have a green light for the day. And if you are heading to the New Jersey shore for this weekend, Saturday looks like a partly sunny day. There is more of a chance for a thunderstorm in the afternoon hours down there at the shore. The temperatures will be in the low 80s on Saturday. On Sunday, we're looking for a mainly sunny day with a high of 85 degrees. The tanning index looks like a 7 on Saturday and a big 10 on Sunday. And the ocean water temperatures will be refreshingly cool in the upper 50s to low 60s. And checking that forecast, we're looking at sunshine today, a fair to partly cloudy night ahead, temperatures dropping down into the 60s, not as cool as it was last night. Partly sunny tomorrow, and there is the slight risk of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. The high during the day in the low 80s. And then on Sunday, we're looking for a sunny, hot day with a high of 87. And then on Monday, it looks hot and humid with a high near 90 degrees. So it looks like a good weekend to be near the pool, the pond, or the shore. But Frank, with your head cold, I'd stay out of the water.
I was going to say, I need some sunshine to get rid of this summer cold.
That's right, I agree.
Thank you very much, Noreen. Newswatch 16 this morning continues with more on the forecast, and a little later, Jay Kristopher with sports. But up next, more local news, including details of a gas rate hike proposal and a proposed water bill rebate that could be finalized today for people affected by contaminated drinking water. That story is next as Newswatch 16 this morning continues at 18 minutes before 7.
Hi, I'm Dwight Stones, and I was an Olympic bronze medalist in both the 1972 and 1976 Olympic Games.
And all next week, we'll be in Los Angeles.
We'll be meeting other Olympic gold medal contenders all next week, and we'll see a lot of other fascinating things.
Hi, I'm Willie Banks. I'm a triple jumper on the 1984 Olympic team. Be sure and join Jane and Chad all next week on PM Magazine. And we'll see you in LA. Go for it!
Good morning, everyone. For those of you just joining us, 16 minutes before 7 a.m., and this is Newswatch 16 this morning for Friday. Today is the 20th of July. Now, if you use natural gas to heat your home or to cook, and you are a customer of Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company, you may be paying more for that natural gas soon. The utility company has asked the State Public Utility Commission to okay a gas rate hike beginning September 1st. Now, if the PUC goes along with the plan, the average gas bill for a PG&W customer who heats his home with natural gas will go up $24 a year. Now, if you just use natural gas to cook, the increase will be about $3.50 more per year. PG&W says it's the smallest rate hike request ever sought by that utility company. Those of you who are customers of Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company's water division who have been affected by contaminated water problems in the past may be in for some good news today. Later today, the Public Utility Commission in Harrisburg is expected to meet about 10 o'clock this morning, and they are going to make a final vote on that water bill rebate. You remember a few weeks ago, an administrative law judge for the Public Utility Commission approved a 25% rebate for people who have been receiving water that was contaminated by the Giardia cyst. The PUC is due to meet this morning at 10 a.m. to vote on that 25 rate rebate for about 72,000 Pennsylvania Gas and Water Company customers. Several hundred people are expected at a meeting in Wilkes-Barre this morning where experts will lecture on the problem of radioactive waste and how to deal with it. The program, sponsored by the Wilkes-Barre Chamber of Commerce, starts at 8 o'clock this morning at the Sheraton Crossgates Hotel. Now, the discussion will focus on the differences between low-level and high-level radioactive waste and how to dispose of it safely. Low-level waste can come from a lot of different sources, including hospitals and college labs. The federal government has ordered each state to come up with ways to dispose of its own low-level radioactive waste by 1986. The city of Wilkes-Barre is also getting involved with another national program that may be getting some attention because it may help doctors fight heart disease. As Newswatch 16's Mark Davis reports, a filmmaker is hoping 50,000 people in Wilkes-Barre will take a heart test.
The city of Wilkes-Barre makes national news beginning this fall. The entire city, all 50,000 residents from preschool to senior citizen, will be asked to take nationally known Dr. Tim Dietrich's heart test, developed at the Arizona Heart Institute.
We came here because Wilkes-Barre represents America in microcosm, almost as closely as any city in the country today.
Wilkes-Barre native Stan Karp brought the project here and will help make a one-hour national public television special on the city and the test. The test will be administered this way. On September 8th, 9th, and 10th, we'll all be given a written exam with various questions about our health. Those exams will be graded and we'll be put into groups grading our health. Then over the next 60 days, we'll be given ways to improve our health. To lose weight, stop smoking, and get better exercise. That becomes the TV film.
Seeing the people of Wilkes-Barre get behind themselves, each other's, and the city to make this project work. It's not the story of Ted Dietrich. It's not the story of the Arizona Heart Institute. It's certainly not my story nor Roy's. It's the story of every citizen in this city.
Now, besides improving the health of all of us who live here in Wilkes-Barre, this test will have another added benefit. The national exposure is expected to give the image of the city a big boost, because after the test is over, Wilkes-Barre will be known as the city which took the heart test. Mark Davis, Newswatch 16, Wilkes-Barre.
And Jay Kristopher is up next on the Friday Morning Newswatch with sports. That includes scores and highlights of the Phillies' win over the Braves and some spectacular pictures of a triple play last night in that game with the Twins. Sports is next as Newswatch 16 this morning continues at 11 and a half minutes before 7.
WNEP and Pepsi present the Michael Jackson Sweepstakes.
You loving what to do. I put it in the motion, and that's short enough for you. Hey.
A single postcard could have you and a friend at the concert event of the year, Michael Jackson and the Jacksons. All entries are eligible for spectacular daily prizes, plus the grand prize drawing of tickets to see Michael Jackson live in concert. For more details, tune in Dialing for Dollars weekdays at 4.
Morning, everyone. Welcome back. 10 minutes before 7. Good morning, Jay.
Morning, Frank. Some history in baseball. We'll get on with that in just a while. First of all, qualifications for Sunday's Light Cola 500 NASCAR stock car race get underway today at 1 at Pocono International. All the big names will be there racing for the pole position. Drivers like Darrell Waltrip, this year's points leader, Bobby Allison, Richard Petty, Tim Richmond, and Cale Yarbrough. Sunday's race is worth more than $350,000 in prize money. Still in racing, Indy style. Mario Andretti grabbed the pole position for Sunday's Michigan 500 race at Brooklyn Speedway. Andretti drove his Lola Cosworth to an average speed of just over 211 miles an hour. Tom Sneva and Bobby Rahal, they'll be alongside. St. Andrews, Scotland yesterday, first round British Open. Peter Jacobsen here, Greg Norman and Bill Longmuir share the lead entering today's second round of the Open. All three fired 5 under par 67s over the old course. Jacobsen complained about the long fairways while Norman was struggling with his green shots, but they overcame the jitters and held on to the lead. Last year's winner, Tom Watson, back at 4 strokes. Well, let's plug in the American and National League scoreboards. Oakland unloads on Milwaukee 4-1. Kingman his 27th round tripper. Toronto blows by Seattle 8-1. Kansas City shellacks Baltimore 6-3. Minnesota muzzles New York 2-1. Now, in that game, the Twins turned an around-the-horn triple play. Rick Cerrone hit it. Third baseman Gary Gaetti stepped on third to Teufel at second, stepped on second, who threw to Kent Urbeck to end the second inning. The play got Don Mattingly going to third, Bobby Meacham going to second, and Cerrone by a step and a half at first. Ironically, the last triple play involved the Yanks, also involved the Twins. Here it is in slow motion, but the triple play involving the Twins was also started by Gaetti. It was the first triple play in the majors this season and the 6th in Twins history. We'll watch it complete it there. There's Cerrone by a step and a half. He's out at first. Elsewhere in the American League, Chicago crushes Cleveland 3-0, and Detroit, they hammer Texas 9-1. National League action, Los Angeles shuts down St. Louis 10-0. Cincinnati overpowers New York 9-6. The Mets loss drops the Mets' lead in the National League to a half game over the Cubs, game and a half over Philly. The race is really heating up. Game highlights now from Tom McDonald.
Trailing by a run in the bottom of the second inning, Reds pitcher Mario Soto helped his own cause, slicing a double down the right field line off Bruce Bereni that scored 2 runs and put Cincinnati on top 3-2 after 2. In the 6th, Soto was once again involved in the play. Runners on second and third. Soto hit one to third. The Mets got the lead runner for the second out of the inning, and it looked like they would get the third out. But Brad Goulden knocked the ball out of Rafael Santana's glove, and the go-ahead run scored with Soto going all the way to third base. Eric Davis later unloaded a double that scored 2 more unearned runs, giving the Reds a 7-4 lead. The Mets threatened, but a major league play by Ron Oster with the bags full of New Yorkers kept Cincinnati on top as they won 9-6. This is Tom McDonald reporting.
All right, Tom, elsewhere in the National League, Chicago checks San Francisco 6-4. Philadelphia, they rolled by Atlanta by a score of 9-1. Now, the Phillies got off to a roaring start in the first inning at Atlanta. When it was over, Jerry Koosman had a win on a 4-hitter. Some highlights now from Charles Hughes.
And the 1-1. Phillies outfielder Tim Corcoran singled in the first, and Gary Maddox and Juan Samuel came in to make it 3-0 over the Braves. And with only 1 out in the opening inning, Atlanta's starting pitcher Craig McMurtry was taken out of the game. But the Phillies got 2 more runs, and Ivan DeJesus singled, and it was 5-0 Phillies over the Braves. Then it was all downhill from there. After Samuel had an RBI double in the second, Corcoran drove him home to make it 7-0 Phillies. The Phillies added 2 more runs before the Atlanta fans had something to cheer about. In the 7th, Terry Harper drove this one to center field for a triple. Phillies outfielder Gary Maddox ran out of room and crashed into the fence. That brought in Atlanta's only run of the evening as winning pitcher Jerry Koosman went all the way to improve his record 11-7. Final score 9-1 Phillies over the Braves. Charles Hughes reporting.
2 other games in the National League on the scoreboard. Pittsburgh stuns San Diego 5-1, and Houston shades Montreal, score there of 3-2. And that's a look at the morning line, except the fish and game forecast. We're looking at 7 o'clock this morning if you're quick. 8:15 tonight if you're kind of, well, if it's kind of a lazy day, Frank.
Boy, I tell you, some of those games last night, very exciting. That triple play, that was really neat to watch in slow motion.
You don't see that too often.
That's for sure. Thank you very much, Jay. If you live in Williamsport, keep your fingers crossed. Officials say the Memorial Park swimming pool just may be open for this hot, sunny weekend. Now, the pool was closed on Monday by state environmental officials who said the water had too much acid content. So officials in Williamsport tried to correct the problem by dumping some soda ash into the pool. But it didn't work. In fact, it made the situation worse. It flushed some rust from the filters into the water, kind of turned to this green color in parts. Crews in Williamsport are working on the problem right now. Hope the pool will be blue and open by the weekend. And we'll have more on today's weekend forecast in a moment. But first, in case you'd like to check them again, here are last night's winning lottery numbers. Now, the daily number on your screen as it twirls away, 096 for Thursday, July 19th. That's 096. Newswatch 16 this morning continues in a moment. 4.5 before 7 a.m.
This week on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, we'll travel the shores of the Susquehanna River to join a group as they challenge the flight of the Canadian geese. Plus, a look at the skillful sport of turkey hunting. All at 7 on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life.
Then at 7:30 on the all-new Wild Kingdom, we'll join host Marlon Perkins on an adventurous journey into the Australian desert for a look at its most intelligent killers.
Tomorrow on WNEP-TV 16.
Good morning, everyone. 2.5 minutes before 7. If you want to make plans for the weekend, go ahead. The weather should be pretty good,
That's right.
Noreen?
We have an outstanding day on hand, Frank, and we head into a warm-up over the weekend. Let's check the forecast. In the backyard, it's now a cool 58 degrees, and we have a day filled with sunshine, comfortable humidity, and warm afternoon temperatures, high in the low 80s. Partly cloudy tonight, fair to partly cloudy with a low of 63. Partly sunny on Saturday with the slight risk of an isolated shower or thunderstorm, high 82. Sunny and hot on Sunday, high 87. And hot and humid for Monday with a high near 90 degrees. So it looks pretty good for the swing of things over this weekend, Frank.
Thank you very much, Noreen. We'll be back at 25 minutes after 7 with more on that weather forecast. And Newswatch 16's Marisa Burke will have a live report on that decision that the PUC should make today regarding the water bill rebate for people in that GR diocese affected area. Stay tuned now for Good Morning America and ABC News, and have a good day, everyone.